Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. John Kelly, Profiler here, and welcome. Please, if you like what we're doing today, please hit that like button. Please subscribe, and please comments. We love your comments. We love to hear what you have to say. Very important to us, and we respect it as well. Also, talking about respect, I am honored, we are honored today, not only to have Leah, our producer, on, but Timmy Braun's here. Timmy Braun is here. We're very honored to have Timmy, major commander of detectives, Homicide, North Jersey, unbelievable amount of cases. He's covered it all. He knows it all. He has over 25 years experience, and he's come across various types of cases very similar, and he has unbelievable input on this. I mean, his professionalism is second to none. I got to tell you, he's number one in my books. And you may remember him from The Good Nurse, the movie, The Good Nurse. Check it out. He's the one that's the star in the show, although there's an actor portraying him. But there's also a documentary where you do get to see Timmy, and he is the star in the documentary. Him and his partner, I don't want to leave his partner out. Him and his partner both were responsible for investigating and arresting Charles Cullen, the angel of death serial killer nurse in New Jersey. And an unbelievable job. They did an unbelievable job. And we're very honored to have him here today. And he's going to give us some input on how to catch, the abductor of Nancy Guthrie and what he's looking at. Without further ado, I've talked a lot. Timmy, welcome. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, John. And if I could add a little caveat there, far from it do I know everything. you just said he knows everything. Far from it, my friend. Far from it. Okay. But you learn a lot from being on the job.
And I've learned from you. That's how it works. On the job.
Yeah. Well, hey Tim, we're happy to have you on here. Do you mind? I gotta ask you some questions here today. All right, let's pick your brain. Okay.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
Yes, I'm happy to have you.
If I can. Happy birthday, John.
Yeah.
Thank you, Timmy.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, my friend. Happy birthday, my friend.
Thanks. I truly appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Congrats, John. Yes. Good. All right. Well, let's make it
Fire away, Leah. Fire away.
Yes. Let's make it a good birthday for John here. All right. So getting started. So Tim, the sheriff and the media, they're out there looking for a potential suspect, and they're saying, hey, we don't have a suspect, or we don't have a person of interest yet. I want to know, how do you take this? What do you think about it? Do you think they already have a suspect that they're not sharing? Do you want to talk about that?
It all depends how you read what they say and how they say it. They absolutely have a primary suspect, in my opinion, without a doubt. And I say that because of the porch man. I'll call him the porch man. The porch man video is their primary suspect.
I like that.
To say you don't have a suspect or person of interest, in my opinion, there is no better suspect or person of interest than that person depicted in that video. So, and there is a lot to work with, a tremendous amount to work with the person depicted in that video.
Okay, so looking at him here, what do you make of this? I mean, you get a real good view of his face, and I can zoom in on it. But as far as reconstructing what he looks like here, what is necessary? What are the key points here, Tim?
Well, the key points that I see, which are crucial in any type of identification process, in particular, facial images are the eyes and the mouth. Those are key points in facial recognition. Not only, well, mostly for a witness or someone who may know this person. There is a lot of exposed areas of the face that appear in this image that are crucial in identifying this person. I see a lot here, and there is a lot that could be used by an expert facial reconstruction expert that could ultimately provide an image of this face, of the facial features of this person. There's a lot of extremely crucial detail that could provide a close likeness of this person.
Would you have a sketch artist do that to me?
I'm old school, so I would refer to the old-fashioned sketch artists, as we would call them, and absolutely yes. But with technology of today, which is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but with today's technology, there is so much there that I see and that I have, I want to say, used in cases I've been involved with through my experience with my post-retirement experience. Namely, after my 25 years in law enforcement, I spent 20 years working with NCMEC, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And we worked a lot with facial reconstruction and age progression. And NCMEC, as they're known, has probably the top expert in facial reconstruction and age progression, a man named Joe Mullins, who has provided amazing work in what he does to bring closure to many, many cases. And there is so much here. Now, I have absolutely no expertise in this area whatsoever, but I do have some familiarization training with this. So I have basic information. There is so much here that a true expert can use that could provide detailed imagery of a potential suspect. Now, it will not be the exact likeness of that individual, but will provide a very close likeness. There are specific measurements that are used when they do this process, especially with the eyes and the mouth, which in different images of this video are clearly visible, that would provide the experts great detail to create those images. And then with that mask covering the head, there is a tight fitted mask that's covering, or I'll call it a mask, covering a ski mask, basically, that closely fits the head and face, which gives an expert a lot of detail they can work from, with the jawline, with the nose, with the measurements of the face, the wide, you know, do they have a wide face? Do they have a square jaw, a rounded jaw, double chin? There's a lot of detail that can be gleaned by an expert's eye and expertise and equipment that they use, technology that they use to do this. They can really recreate an image that could resemble a close likeness of this suspect. Mm-hmm. So, and with that, of course, you know, you can put that out to the public and others that might be able to help identify this person.
Now, Tim, what about the outerwear? So we talked a bit about his facial structure. What about the clothes he's wearing, the backpack he has on? What do you get from that?
Amazing. I mean, there is so much there that can help identify this person with not only the facial imaging, the outerwear that he has on. I mean, you have the backpack, you have the, you know, jacket type of jacket, sweatshirt, whatever it may be that he may be wearing, the pants, the shoes, the gloves, the mask. And some of these items have already been identified as material that is available in Walmart. Now that's huge, especially the backpack, where they say that the backpack is exclusive to Walmart, and there's a lot there that you can work with. It's been reported that even the face covering, the mask, is available. May not be exclusive to Walmart, but Walmart does sell that mask. I'm not sure about the other articles of clothing and footwear, but if they are available with Walmart, you know, there's a lot there you can work with through Walmart. I know Google has been very cooperative in, you know, with this investigation, especially with this video in particular, and their continued work. And I would hope and think that maybe Walmart would offer the same assistance to law enforcement, the FBI and Sheriff's Office here, to provide some information that could further the investigation, in particular with the purchase of these different clothing items that appear on the suspect, you know, from head to toe, the face mask, the backpack, the jacket, the pants, the gloves. That's another thing. The gloves and the footwear. Now, even with the footwear, there's a lot that could be told from the footwear also. The size of the foot is very important here too. Now, if you remember, there were images on the within the media that showed the front entranceway here that we're looking at, the enclosed, I'll call the porch or landing outside the front entrance, was concealed with some sort of a white tent. And it was said and thought to be that white tent was concealing some of the investigative work that was happening inside that front foyer or front landing, where it was believed that they were probably doing some laser measuring of the area. And it was shortly after that tent was dismantled that they came out and said that the suspect appeared to be about 5'9" to 5'10". Now, those measurements came from specific information that was developed from that laser measuring within that foyer. I mean, they measured the bricks and did a lot of technical measurement stuff that they were able to come up with this person's height or estimated height. And they'd be able to do the same thing with the footwear. You see here that there were tile-like flooring for this landing area. Now, don't hold me to it, but some tiling comes in, 1 foot, 18-inch, 16-inch measurements. But those tiles were measured likely with laser proficiency, I guess. They have exact measurements of these tiles, of these bricks, of that entire inner enclosure, I'll call it. And with those exact measurements, you see in this photo in particular, that foot compared to those tiles and the ground in between are finely measured. And with that, you can get a very close measurement of the footwear that's being worn, much like they did with the height of this person. They're calling it 5'9", 5'10". So you can do the same with the footwear and any other measurements that you want to probably compare to. But that's very crucial, very important information as you develop your suspect profile. There is a tremendous amount of information here, except for a name of this person. But there's a lot there that is very crucial to this person's identity. Mm-hmm. And I'll try to liken it to if I was to go back into my uniform days, if I were to get a description from a crime victim or a witness who told me that the perpetrator or suspect was had the characteristics of being a white or Hispanic male with dark eyebrows, a dark mustache with some other facial hair underneath the mouth, with a Ozark type backpack, with a zip up sweater or sweatshirt or jacket, that was 5'9" to 5'10", with a average medium type build, with a size 9 or 10 shoe. If somebody provided that great a detail to me at a crime scene, if I was a uniformed officer to put out what we would call a bolo to our fellow officers to be on the lookout for, that would be an absolute tremendous amount of information that you could put out to not only officers but the public to look out for. And you have all that here. So when I hear we don't have a suspect or a person of interest, I shake my head. I said, you absolutely do. You just don't know who it is.
Who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how they can say you don't? You do. right in front of your eyes.
Right.
I shake my head at that. So,
Timmy, when you look at the like the height, possible weight, as they look at this and they dissect this picture and everything, and they go to Walmart, I mean, that all plays into it too, right? Because you got small, medium, large, extra large, so they can kind of bring that together, right? Well, this guy did buy this kind of pair of pants, or this guy bought this kind of shirt, but this is because they did come out and say it looks like he bought everything at Walmart.
Well, as you say that, John, I think of yes, a lot. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. What I've heard anyway, I've mostly heard the backpack and the face mask, but these other items, I heard the backpack in particular, this Ozark style backpack, is exclusive to Walmart. So that could lead you to think that a person shopping at Walmart, found this item. Now, the face mask is, well, they said it was sold in Walmart, but not exclusively, which is a good sign, which might indicate that it may have been purchased at Walmart. They haven't, not that I've heard, mentioned the other articles of, the clothing being worn. But there's a good likelihood once they are able to identify the clothing, especially the jacket or sweatshirt, whatever it is being worn. It's a zip-up type. There might be a brand name or something on that. I can't really tell. That's a good shot. That's a good shot right there, Leah.
Tim, another question.
There's a lot there. There's a lot there.
Yeah. Tim, what about the gun holster? Do we know anything about that?
I don't know, but that's one of those things you can enhance to get better detail. Now, I'm far from an expert, but from the images I've seen, it almost looks like that the weapon that's in the handgun that's in that holster is not made for that holster. It almost looks like a semi-automatic, I should say, handgun inside a holster that might be made for a revolver-style handgun. But I'm not gonna bet the house on that one. But again, I haven't closely analyzed it, and plus I have no expertise in that area. So
they said that holster was sold at Walmart too, Tim.
Well, if that's the case, there was some more. Walmart does sell firearms and firearms accessories, ammunition, things of that nature. Also, wow, I'm glad you said that. I didn't realize that till you just said it, but I know Walmart in our area anyway. I know there are some states that has less strict firearms regulations. They don't sell it, but where I'm at now, now that you say it, Walmart does sell firearms and accessories, ammo, holsters, other related equipment that goes with it. So that's interesting. I haven't heard that one yet, but yeah. And Walmart, don't hold me to this. I believe they could be their corporate headquarters or whatever, maybe out of Arkansas or wherever their corporate headquarters is. That would be an amazing, that would be, I shouldn't say amazing, that would be a crucial place to start digging into their archived databases for sales of these different items, and trying to narrow the purchases down to find a common denominator amongst the different purchases. If this, and it sounds like the key part here, or one of the key pieces, is this Ozark backpack. Now, if they can couple that with the sale of, let's say, sneakers, Converse low-cut sneaker size 9 or 10, after they're able to get measurements, the jacket, whatever brand name it might be, if they can combine and gather basically a profile of these different items and articles of clothing to come together, even if it's just one or two pieces that are sold either together or that maybe if they're not together in the same store, if you can tell if the same maybe credit card was used to purchase different items, to kind of put them together, piece them together, that can be crucial in the identification of potential suspect. Now, with that, it's not only, you may not be looking at, let's say, this guy buying these separate pieces of or articles of clothing. These articles of clothing could have been purchased by someone else that he's wearing. Let's just say, for the sake of argument here, maybe his wife or whoever maybe bought a pair of sneakers and the jacket together, or not even together, maybe separately, but you can put them together, maybe not at the same time of purchase. And that's another thing too. They don't have to be at the same time of purchase. They can be separately, but together from the same person, if that makes any sense. That you might be able to make a connection or a link there. So there's a lot there that, especially if they start identifying, especially the jacket, there has to be identifying markings and other things that they can do to identify the brand of that particular jacket and find out where it could be sold. And if somebody's shopping at Walmart, me, literally, I'm where you got me today. I'm doing some chores and a little bit of yard work and stuff. So I'm wearing a Walmart shirt right now as we speak.
And you're doing a free advertisement for Walmart. Free advertisement for Walmart.
Why not? Advertising for Walmart. But anyway, there's a lot there. Much like what they're doing with Google, reaching out to these corporate entities for to glean information that can help identify the suspect here. So,
yeah, I think you brought it, you nailed it pretty good. Is there anything else that you feel as far as the dress goes you need to talk about now, or you want to talk about?
Well, I know we're trying to keep focused for today's conversation, at least in today's show, at least the one general topic, so we keep the audience kind of engaged without going off to a bunch of other issues. But as it pertains to this, you know what? I've also heard that they don't have a suspect vehicle.
Mm.
That makes me think you have a suspect vehicle, much like the suspect that they say they don't have, or a vehicle of interest. You at least, at the very least, in my opinion, you have a vehicle involved in here, a means of transportation. There's no other means that I see other than a vehicle. You don't have a bicycle, you don't have a train, a boat, a spaceship, whatever. There's a vehicle involved here. Now, yes, what I like to do what I like to do. I'm a visual person, and Homicide 101 for me was I like charting. I like things in front of my eyes. I have a checklist. Now, going back to your suspect, that checklist is half or three-quarters filled with my suspect. My primary person of interest suspect. That checklist for me is is filled at least halfway with a lot of check marks. I have like I mentioned before with the details, the white Hispanic male, dark eyebrows, and all this that I mentioned before, all that detail. Now, the vehicle, I can check off bicycle. I can check off by foot, means of transportation, by foot, by plane, by boat, all this other stuff. I can check off car or vehicle. I can check off vehicle. That puts me in line to fill in the rest of the boxes. Make, model, license plate number, owner, operator. It gives me direction. I have a suspect vehicle. I don't have more information than that right now, but I have a vehicle involved. There's no other way that I see that she was removed from that scene. So, I know those are one of the things in my checklist, so to speak, that I do. So.
And you do it, and you do it very well. You do it very, very well. 25 years worth. So with that all being said, is there anything else we need to go over here until our next show, which won't be too far away? We want to catch this guy. You gave our audience an enormous amount of plethora, if you will, of information on what they could look out for and what you would do. And you've been successful by doing these things.
Sometimes. Not all the time, but
most of the time. You didn't become commander of detectives without doing that, right?
Well, it nature of the beast.
It wasn't politics, folks, that moved them up the ladder. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not known for political correctness. That's for sure. But that's another thing.
Yeah. So, bottom line, for our next show, we're going to move forward and we'll pick out another topic. We've got about 5 topics I want to bring down. I want to get into a few different things, and I'm certainly up for suggestions from Timmy and from Leon, what else we want to dive into. Leah, you haven't talked that much. Is there anything you want to say before we leave?
I mean, I've got my questions answered by Tim today, I think pretty good.
Yeah.
We really broke down what this guy looks like, what he's wearing, where it can go. I think, let's just see what happens, what more comes out. But thank you, Tim.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. It was very, very comprehensive, description, if you will. You got into details that you don't hear on TV.
No.
Okay, because they cut people off and they get rid of them. And to be honest with you, the vast majority of people don't have the experience you have. I mean, it's just bottom line. Okay.
Well,
I mean, there's some, but not all.
Experience, knowledge, and I guess they kind of go together. But just real quickly, I know we're running out of time here. With this facial reconstruction, there are actually programs out there that also help the experts with their developing their reconstruction. There is detail in these images from that video, the porch man, I'll call him.
I like that name. I love that name. Great name. The porch.
They will pinpoint measurements. This is what they do, as I understand, with facial reconstruction. They will pinpoint measurements from the top of the head to the jawline and neckline and so on, and width, height, and crisscross it with almost like a checkerboard measurement system that they use. And that's what they use with facial reconstruction to develop, especially skeletonized remains, things of that nature, decomposed individuals. That was a lot of the work that I did, that I utilized Joe Mullins and in particular to create, to help identify unidentified people. So I know that's available, and it is right there in front of them. Although even with the facial covering, these people can do amazing work to provide a likeness. I'll call it a likeness instead of an exact image. It can provide a very close likeness to the person that you're looing at there. So, okay, I'm done.
I hope they're listening to you. I hope they're listening to you. And I believe, like you said, they have this knowledge. So in the near future, and I'm saying in the very near future, I'm hoping to see some kind of visual reconstruction of what this person looks like. Okay, so we can really nail them in this thing. And from my lips to God's ears, find Mrs. Nancy Guthrie. It's such a sad situation. I don't want to lose track of that, and how sad this whole ordeal has been for the Guthrie family. And again, my lips to God's ears. Let's hopefully find her alive and bring her home. With that all being said, anything else? Thank you, Walt. Timmy, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for your valuable information, your professionalism, and we're honored to have you here today. Leah, as always, you did a great job. We're honored to have you here. I mean, you had some great visuals up there. Everybody has an idea of what's going on. So until we meet again, which will be shortly, depending on what breaks here, every day something's breaking. With this case, something different's coming up. And probably next time we'll be talking about, I don't want to pin us down to any specific thing, because I want to see what breaks, and I want to see where we can give our audience the best information based on what news is coming out. Okay, with all that being said, to our audience, we love you, thank you, appreciate you, and just keep an eye out there. We live in a very violent world. Most importantly, take care of yourself, and until we talk again, God bless.
Happy birthday, my friend. Enjoy.
Thank you.